Can you tell us what happened to you since we last met on that beautiful morning in Crete some weeks ago?
A lot and nothing. A lot on the periphery and nothing to my being. Nothing to me. The first thing that I became alert was that man has not been evolving. That the concept of evolution perhaps is wrong. Because for thousands of years he is behaving in the same pattern. That beautiful morning on the island of Crete, the people and their mistreatment towards me and my friends who were with me reminded me of Socrates. These were the same people and strangely the same was the alleged crime against Socrates, corrupting the young minds, destroying their morality. Exactly the same was their allegation against me. It seems 25 centuries have simply passed by and man is stuck, not evolving. Their behavior was brutal, inhuman. They could have told me to leave the country, It is their country. There was no need for brutality. Smashing the windows and doors of the house with rocks, to me coming from the top floor, it sounded as if bombs are exploding. And they had dynamite with them, and they were threatening that they would dynamite the whole house. It seems as if to send me out of the country was just an excuse to give expression to this brutality. Otherwise, it was a simple matter to tell me that I am not welcome. The man who had given me the tourist visa for 4 weeks was the chief of police. And the man who cancelled it after 15 days was the deputy chief of police. That seems to be absolutely improper. That the chief should give the permission and the deputy should cancel it. On the airport in Athens, there were at least 40 police officers. Just for a single man without any arms. And that deputy chief was also present. There was a huge crowd of press people, newspapers, radio, television, and dozens of cameras. They all wanted an interview with me. And I said, that there is not much to say other than that it seems man is not going to be civilized ever. The press people were in front of me, and those 40 police dogs, all big officers, were surrounding, and the deputy chief was standing by my side. And when I said with this kind of police, this kind of government, you are destroying the very future of humanity, particularly of your own country. These people were responsible for killing Socrates. When I said this, fingering towards the deputy chief, he wanted to interfere. For the first time in 35 years, I pretended to be angry. I could not succeed because inside I was giggling. But I told that man, shut up and stand by the side where you belong and don't come close to me. And I shouted so loudly, shut up, that he really became silent and went back and stood in the crowd. Later on, I saw the reportings. They thought I was ferocious, very angry. I was nothing. But that is the only language those people will understand. And when you are talking to somebody, you have to use the language he understands. But I enjoyed that anger can be acted upon. You can remain absolutely silent within, and you can be ferocious outside. And there is no contradiction, because that ferociousness is only acting. I remembered on the plane about George Gurdjieff, who has been trained in many Sufi schools, different kinds of methods. One method in a certain school was used, and that was acting. When you are not feeling angry, act angry. When you are feeling very happy, act miserable. The method has a tremendous implication. It means when you are miserable, you will be capable to act happy. And when you are angry, you will be able to act peaceful. Not only that, it implies that you are neither misery nor happiness. These are faces you can make. You are different. Your being is not involved in them. And Gurdjieff became so proficient in it. And the school was training for this particular method. Strange methods have been used for meditation to discover your being, to detach it from your emotions, sentiments, actions. Gurdjieff became so capable that if he was sitting between two persons, to one person he will appear immensely peaceful and silent, half of his face, one side profile, and to the other he will appear to be murderous, dangerous, criminal. The other profile, the other side. And when the both persons will tell about the person, Gurdjieff, how they can agree. They are bound to disagree that they have met according to one, a very silent and peaceful person, according to others, a very murderous and dangerous criminal type. And when asked to Gurdjieff, he will say they both are right. I can manage not only to divide my being and my action, I can manage to divide even my face into two parts. I was presented from Japan a statue of Buddha, a very beautiful statue, but very strange. In one hand, he is holding a naked sword, and in the other hand, he is holding a small lamp. In the East, they use mud lamps, which are just small cups of mud filled with oil. They are almost like candles and their flame. So the flame was there. The flame was shining on one part of his face. It was lighted, silent, peaceful, and the sword was reflecting on the other side of his face. A warrior, a fighter, a born rebel, a revolutionary. On the airport in Athens, I saw those 40 police officers, must have been the topmost people, except the chief, because he could not gather courage to come. I would have asked him on what grounds the visa given by you has been cancelled by your assistant. Only he was not there. But the others, I saw a strange thing, that they were behaving in very inhuman ways, but they were all cowards. When I shouted, "Shut up!" that chief simply slipped back like a small child. Afraid that the television will catch my words and me and him. With all the honors of the police on his coat, with a pistol hanging by the side of his waist. But inside there is a child, a coward child. It was an experience because democracy was born in Athens. Democracy is an Greek idea, and yet the man who created the idea of democratic values was poisoned by Athenians. That's how history goes on saying. But that day I became suspicious of the history. Socrates was not poisoned by the people of Athens, but by the bureaucracy of Athens. And one should make a distinction, because I was mistreated on the island of Crete by the police. But the people of the village where I was staying, St. Nicholas, they were not with the bureaucracy. And when one journalist asked me that what is your message to the people of St. Nicholas, I said, just tell them to reach to the airport, to show to the police that they are with me and not with them. And 3,000 people were on the airport in the middle of the night, filling the whole terrace of the airport. They have been standing there for hours. The whole village was empty. Those who were left behind had to walk because they could not get any taxi, any bus. Everything has moved to the airport. But people walked miles to reach airport, to demonstrate a simple fact that they are not with the brutality and the fascist behavior of the government. They are with me. For the bureaucracy and its brutality, always people have been blamed. I don't think Socrates would have been killed by the people of Athens. He was such a loving person. And with no egoistic idea of holier than you. In the morning he will go to fetch up some vegetables, and he will not return even by the night. Because everywhere on the streets, in the vegetable shop, in the market, he was discussing with everybody. Things which are beyond the ordinary man. He was the teacher of the whole Athens. A single man made Athens one of the most intelligent cities that has ever existed in the world. Single-handedly, just moving, meeting anybody, to say hello to him meant you are entering into a dialogue. In spite of you, you may be in a hurry. Socrates is not in a hurry. These people could not have killed him. The bureaucracy became afraid. The great experience made me look again at the history. The books are lying. The people had not killed the man. They could not have even imagined. But the government, and why the government should kill the man? Because the man was making the masses so intelligent, so independent, so freedom-loving, so individualistic, that the government will soon find itself into troubled waters. It will not be able to control these people. It will not be able to enslave these people. It is better to kill Socrates rather than let him go on sharpening people's minds to such an extent that the bureaucrats look like fools. Before it happens, it is better to kill him. But history books go on saying that the people of Athens killed Socrates. No, I saw the people of St. Nicholas came running to the airport to demonstrate that they are not with the police. And even when I had left their country, a deputation from St. Nicholas, on their own decision, went to see the president of the country, to protest what has happened in their village. I have been there only 2 weeks and I have never gone out of the house. but they could see my people, at least 500 sannyasis from all over Europe has gathered. They were well accustomed about tourists because it is a tourist place, but they have never seen such loving people. And just because of my sannyasis, although they could not understand me, the language was a great barrier. Still, few of the village people started coming. Just to sit with me in the morning, in the evening. And that's what was hurting the religious hierarchy. The archbishop was getting mad because nobody comes to his congregation. And I have been there for 15 days. And I have created a big congregation. In his congregation, between 6 to 12 old women who were almost dead. They used to come to listen to him. He was getting afraid giving telegrams to the president, to the prime minister, to other ministers, to the police chief, giving interviews which were full of lies because he knew nothing about me. And his fear became infectious. The government also became afraid. One of my sannyasis, Amrito, who has invited me to Greece, and she was a close friend of the president. Of the prime minister. She was well connected with all the high position people, because 20 years before she was chosen as the beauty queen, Miss Greece, and she had become famous, and since then she has been modeling. So all the film directors, businessmen, all kinds of people were related to her. She was never asked for taking an appointment. She simply went into their house, the president or the prime minister. But that day, she went to the president and for 6 hours she remained there, and she was not allowed in the house. Why? The president was afraid of a woman whom he knows, who has been coming to him, and they have been friends. The fear was because what he will say, what has been done to me and my people by his government, he had no answer. And you will be surprised, the answer came in a very strange way. I left Athens because they won't allow me even to stay for the night in a hotel under their supervision or on the airport. As I left, they immediately started searching for Amrita. She must have found from some source that now you will be the target. Why you invited Bhagwan here? Knowing him, and she had to escape out of the country. And still the police went. She is a very simple and loving person. She is not rich. She has only a small juice bar. Police went to the juice bar and tried to find strange things with which police has no concern. That it is not clean. Of course it was not clean because for 3 days she has been out of the country, and it was not clean because for 15 days she was on the island of Crete with me. So only the servant was running it. But that is not a crime. At least not for the police. Perhaps the municipal authorities who look for cleanliness in restaurants, hotels, may have come, but they were not there. The police was finding faults. But I have told her to go back and give a fight. Because you have not done anything wrong. Everything wrong is on the part of the government. Because they could not do any harm to me, afraid of its international results. She found a scapegoat. They can torture a woman who is divorced, has a little child, an old mother, and she is the only earning person. And what earning out of a juice bar? They can harass her. These people always throw their crimes on the masses, and masses are dumb. And history is really bunk. There are more lies in history books than anywhere else. The incident was small, but the implications were great. I have not stepped out of the house. I was not talking in Greek. The people of the country could not understand me. The people who were listening to me were all from out of Greece. To say that I am corrupting the minds of youth, destroying the morality of the country, its tradition, its church, the family. But the people who were listening to me were not Greek. in what way I could have had any effect on their morality, on their religion. But it seems bureaucracy does not think. It simply lives out of fear. And the fear is that there should be nobody who can raise questions about the very roots of their society. But it is foolish, because wherever I am going to do the same. And my word is going to reach everywhere in the world. And what can I do if their roots are rotten? What can I do if their morality is not morality? But only a pretension. What can I do if their marriage is hypocrisy and not love? What can I do if the family has outlived and needs to be replaced by something better? It has done its work. It has done few good things. Which can be done by a different way. It has done few very dangerous, poisonous things which can be avoided. The family as it has existed down the ages cannot be allowed to exist. If it exists, then man has to die. To save man, we have to change the social structure around him. To bring a new man, because the old has been an utter failure. $10,000 years at least we have moved on the same lines, reaching nowhere. It is time to understand that we have taken a wrong route. It is stale. It leads to death. It does not allow people joy, rejoicing. It does not allow people to sing and to dance. It makes people serious, heavy for themselves and for others. In the family are the seeds of all wars, of all religions, of all nations. That's why they call the family is the unit of our civilization. There is no civilization, and the unit is rotten, and it creates only pathological men who needs all kinds of psychotherapies and still remains pathological. We have not been able to create a sane humanity. So on the periphery, I thought what happened in Greece perhaps may happen in other countries, because it is the same structure, and it happened. From Greece we moved to Geneva just for an overnight rest. And the moment they came to know my name, they said, "No way. We cannot allow him into our country." I was not even allowed to get out of the plane. We moved to Sweden, thinking that people go on saying that Sweden is far more progressive than any country in Europe or in the world. That Sweden has been giving refuge to many terrorists, revolutionaries, expelled politicians, that it is very generous. We reached Sweden. We wanted to stay overnight. Because the pilots were running out of time, they could not go on anymore. Otherwise it will become illegal. And we were happy because the man on the airport, we had asked only for overnight, but he gave 7 days visas to everybody. Either he was drunk or just sleepy. It was midnight, past midnight. The person who has gone came very happy that we have been given 7 days visa. But immediately the police came and cancelled the visas and told us to move immediately. This man we cannot allow in our country. They can allow terrorists. They can allow murderers. They can allow mafia people. And they can give them refuse. But they cannot allow me. And I am not asking for refuse or permanent residence. Just overnight stay. We turned to London. Because it was simply a question of our basic right. And we made it twice legally. We purchased first-class tickets for the next day. Our own jet was there. But still we purchased in case they start saying that you don't have tickets for tomorrow. So we won't allow you to stay in the first class lounge. We purchased tickets for everybody just to stay in the lounge. And we told them that we have our own jet. We have tickets, but they came upon that there is a bylaw of the airport. The government or anybody cannot interfere in it. It is at our discretion. And this man we won't allow in the lounge. In the lounge, I thought how I can destroy their morality, their religion. And I will be sleeping in the first place, and by the morning we will be gone. But no, these so-called civilized countries are as primitive and barbarous as you can conceive. They said all that we can do is we can put you in jail for the overnight. And just by chance, one of our friends looked into their file. They had all instructions from the government. Already how they have to treat. That I should not be allowed in any way to enter in the country, even for the overnight in a hotel or in the lounge. The only way is that I should be kept in jail. In the morning, we moved to Ireland. Perhaps the man did not take note of my name amongst the passengers, and we had asked just to stay for 2-3 days, at the most 7 if you can give. We wanted time because some other decision was being done. And they were delaying it, and our movement was dependent on that decision. The man was really generous. Must have taken too much beer. He gave 21 days to everybody. We moved to the hotel, and immediately the police reached the hotel to cancel that man is mad. He does not know anything. And they cancelled, but they were in a difficult situation. What to do with us? We were already in the land. We were in the hotel. We had passed few hours in the hotel. They had given 21 days on the passports. Now he cancels them, and we are not ready to go. We have to wait still few days. You can see how bureaucracy covers its own errors. They said you can stay here. But nobody should come to know about it. No press. Nobody should come to know that Bhagwan is here, because then we will be in trouble. And of course we cannot do anything, because that will stir immediately problems. If you don't want to go, and we have given you 21 days permission. On what grounds we are cancelling? You have not done anything, you have only slept in the night here. Unless sleeping is a crime, so we are in a difficulty. The only way is you remain silent and absolutely hidden. Now it was absolutely illegal, without visa, and the police is suggesting us to remain silently, so nobody knows about it, and leave silently. And they were keeping the press away. They were giving them false cues. So they were looking into some different places. But the strange thing is, that these people are directly in communication with the government. The question was raised in the parliament that what happened? Our jet is standing on the airport. We have entered in the country, and where we have disappeared. And the minister simply lied that we had come and we have left. We were in the country and the parliament is told that we have left the country. This whole journey has been an exposure of the bureaucracies. And just now I have received that all the countries of Europe jointly are deciding that I cannot land my plane on any airport. How that will affect their morality? Refueling the plane. But they simply want to cut me away from humanity. That's why I had to leave India. Their conditions were clear. They wanted that I can remain in India. Naturally, they cannot deny me. It is my birthland. You can remain, they said, but no foreigner disciple can be allowed to reach to you, and no news media can be allowed to reach to you. That was a way to cut me away from the world, of my people, and of even news media, so nobody knows whether I am alive or dead. It was a strategy to make me dead almost, although I am alive. Cut me away from everybody. I refused their conditions. I have never lived under any conditions, and particularly such ugly conditions. I left the country, went to Nepal, because that is the only country where I could go without a visa. Otherwise, Indian government has informed all the embassies that no visa should be issued to me, so I cannot leave India. But with Nepal they have a treaty, no visa is needed. But Nepal is a small and very poor country, the poorest, and under tremendous pressure of India. India can take over it any moment. It has no army worth calling. From reliable sources, when it became absolutely certain that they will compel the Nepalese government either to arrest me or to send me back to India, I had to leave Nepal. It makes no difference to my being, but it makes a lot of difference towards my attitude about the society in which we are living. It is absolutely ugly, barbarous, uncultured, uncivilized. That's why I said a lot and nothing.
I found the story you told us about Mahavira when he went begging very odd. That he should stipulate how existence should present his daily food seems not to be the attitude of someone totally available to and accepting of life's ways. Probably I have misunderstood the whole point.
The story of Mahavira has always been misunderstood. It is not only you who have misunderstood it, because we understand things according to our minds. If you were in place of Mahavira, then perhaps it will be stipulating existence. But for Mahavira it is not so. It is not stipulating existence. As far as Mahavira is concerned, he simply wants a signal from existence that whether he should continue or he is no more needed. He never complains. At times he has remained fasting for 3 months continuously, but not a single word of complaint. If he was stipulating, then there will be frustration, there will be complaint. If he was trying to manipulate existence, then there will be a certain sense of failure. For 3 months he has not been able even to get food. But there was no complaint. He was one of the most peaceful, loving, silent beings. Why he made this decision after his morning meditation? Simply not to be a burden on existence. Let existence decide. He is not stipulating existence, he is allowing existence to take total charge of his life, even of his breathing, of his food. Everything he is leaving in the hands of existence. But how he will know? There is no linguistic communication between you and existence. There can be only a symbolic communication. And that was nothing but a symbolic communication. He wanted a symbol. One thing has to be remembered, that these people like Mahavira, Parsunatha, Buddha are very unique beings. They have their own ways, and their ways fit perfectly with their personality. Now, I will never do that kind of thing. I am a totally different person. But I will not misunderstand Mahavira either. I accept his uniqueness, and I respect the way he lived his life. Always undemanding. This was not a demand that existence should fulfill this condition. It was simply an agreement that because language is not possible, so I will choose a certain symbol, and then it is up to existence. He is leaving himself into the hands of existence so totally that he does not want to breathe even a single breath on his own. But I am a totally different person. Almost the very opposite of Mahavira. I will never ask such a thing from existence. My whole way is of let go. And why bother? Once and for all, leave it to existence, and when existence does not need you, you will be absorbed into the universe. There is no need every day to ask again and again. That is a kind of nagging. I have done it once and that's all. I will not do it twice. Because to do twice means the first time you were not total. Otherwise, who is doing it again? Let go can be done only once. When I was a child, we used to have many puzzles. And particularly, we used to ask a teacher who was a little dumb. Simple things, and he will get into such a nervous state. For example, we used to ask him that one man tried to commit suicide 4 times. Can you tell us when he succeeded? First time? Second time? At what time he succeeded? And he will start thinking about it. He will say, how I will know? If a man succeeds, then the last time is really the first time. In my understanding, let go is only once. If you need it again, that means the first time whom you were deceiving. And what is the guarantee that the second time is going not to be just like the first? Let go is an understanding. It is not something that you have to do. It is not something that you have to say to existence. It is simply an understanding that I will not swim against the current, because that is simply stupid. You are going to be tired soon. You can never be victorious against the current. Understanding that, you accept the current's way as your way. That's let go. Now, wherever the river leads you, you don't have to check every day. You simply go with the river. Someday, any day, you may reach the ocean. You may disappear. So I will not suggest anybody to do what Mahavira used to do. But Mahavira has his own unique being. His real name was not Mahavira. Mahavira means a great warrior. His real name was Vardhamana. But nobody remembers his real name. For the simple reason, because his whole approach is that of a warrior, fighter. Even with existence, he is in a constant fight. He is saying that I can live only if I am welcome. I don't want to live even a single moment more if I am not welcome. Deep down, he is fighting. But his fighting had a beauty of its own. He was total in it. That was its beauty. It was not a partial war. It was total. And the secret is, whatever is total transforms you. Your let go, if it is total, will transform you. Your fight, if total, will transform you. What transforms is neither let go nor war, but your totality. Even today, there are monks doing the same, who follow Mahavira. There are not many, because soon Mahavira died. There was a division, because there were people who were not ready for such a fight. So that division has many monks. They have compromised on many points on which Mahavira will not compromise. For example, they wear clothes. Mahavira remained naked. These people stay in homes. Mahavira never stayed under a roof. It may be raining, it may be cold, it may be hot. He was always under a tree. So the people who wanted to compromise, could not compromise when he was alive. He was a tremendously powerful man. But the day he died, his followers divided. So the orthodox ones who still follow Mahavira, there are only 22. There were when I was in India. Few may have died because they were all old people. And once one monk died, it is very difficult to replace. The other party, the compromisers, have almost 5,000 monks. And they go on growing. And they go on compromising. First they started using clothes, then they started using people's houses to stay. Now they have started using even aeroplanes. Mahavira walked all his life. Never using any vehicle. I have seen these compromisers hiding toothpaste. Mahavira never washed his teeth. I know about these monks that whenever they have a chance they take a shower. Mahavira never took a shower himself unless the sky was raining and he was standing under a tree. I have seen in one of the monks' place where he was staying, he was very friendly to me. And he was not worried that I will expose him. That he said, "What you will take? Fanta or Coca-Cola?" I said, "What are you saying?" He said, "Just don't tell anybody." And he opened a closet and he was hiding Coca-Cola, Fanta. Compromise has no limits. What is harmful in it? It is absolutely non-violent junk. You can take it. But those who have followed Mahavira, their number has been going on less and less. One dies and is not replaced. Even they, in an underground way, have compromised. It is difficult to be exactly like Mahavira. That's what I say. Following is impossible. These people also take, after their meditation in the morning, a certain condition that it should be fulfilled. But those conditions are limited, 6 or 8, and everybody knows. So if they are staying in a city, then all Jana houses they will go, and all Jana houses will be fulfilling different conditions. And they have made very simple conditions. For example, if in the door of a house 2 bananas are hanging, then I will accept the food. And this is known. So every Jana is hanging 2 bananas, and they come and they accept the food. The condition is fulfilled. Just such small conditions which are known and must be made known by themselves. They cannot eat from anybody else than a Jana family. So you will be surprised to see that they have renounced their family, one family. And when they are moving, and they are constantly moving, they cannot stay more than 3 days in one place. Because this is Mahavira's understanding, and I feel that he is right. That after 3 days, some kind of attachment starts growing. For example, for the first day you will not find the place suitable to you. You may not sleep well. You may have a certain tension in you. But after the 3rd day, things start settling. And after the 21st day, you become well accustomed to the place as if you have been born for it. Certain time is needed for adjustment. So Mahavira does not allow more than 3 days. And in India, Jainas are very few. So there are many places where there are no Jainas. So what the Jaina monk will do? So 20 families follow him with their buses and their cars and tents, and wherever there is no Jaina family, they make a small campus of tents, and bananas are hanging, and all 8 conditions that are known are fulfilled, and every family has prepared food. And the man must have taken one condition out of 8, so he will get food. Now formally he is following, but this was not what Mahavira was doing. That was a totally different thing. It was not let go. He was not a man for let go. He was a warrior. Truth has to be conquered according to him. And to conquer it, you have to fight totally. And the story I told you is part of his fight. His whole life is part of fight. I will tell you one story more. He remained for 12 years silent. Till he became enlightened. Those 12 years are filled with great incidents. One day he is meditating, and his meditation is also not that of a relaxed way. The meditation ordinarily done in the East is in the lotus posture. And the lotus posture physiologically is the most relaxed phenomenon once you have learned it. Because your spine is straight and the gravitation is the least and that makes your body hang on the straight spine like a loose cloth. Mahavira meditates standing. In his every attitude, he is a warrior. There are people who meditate with closed eyes, which is more relaxed. There are people who meditate with open eyes, just the natural way, blinking. That too is not a fight. Mahavira meditates with half eyes closed and half open and no blinking. In those 12 years, one day he is standing and meditating by the side of a river, and a man comes and says to Mahavira that you are standing here, just look at my cows I am leaving, I have to go urgently to home. My mother is sick and somebody has come to inform me that she is dying. So I will be soon back. But just you are anyway standing here for the whole day. Just have a look so my cows don't get lost in the jungle. And Mahavira, because he cannot speak, he is silent. And the man is in such a hurry. His mother is dying. He does not bother that why this man is not speaking. He simply takes his silence as an yes. When he comes back after 1 or 2 hours, Mahavira is still standing there, but all the cows are gone. Now he gets furious. He says, "You seems to be a cunning man. So you were standing here the whole day just for my cows. Where are my cows?" And because he does not speak, the man becomes more and more furious. "So you are trying to be dumb. I will make you speak." And he takes 2 pieces of wood and forces those 2 pieces into his 2 ears and hits them hard with his rock, that he becomes deaf for his whole life. But still he will not speak. He will not blink. The man thought he seems to be mad. Anybody would have spoken. And he goes and looks in the forest. It is evening, the cows come back, and when he is back, he finds they are all sitting around Mahavira where he had left them before. He says, "You are really a man. I destroyed your ears and you did not speak. I have been going all over the forest and the cows are sitting here. Where you have been hiding them?" And he beats him, he is naked. And he remains standing. Thinking that he is really mad. Neither beating has any effect. You cannot do anything to him. He will not react. That is total silence. That whatever happens, he will remain centered without any reaction. It is not only a question of his speaking. The story is beautiful. Up to this point, it is factual. But it takes a mythological ending. In India, there are many gods. India does not believe in one God. One God seems to be like believing in a dictator. It is undemocratic. India believes in many gods, actually 33 million. That was the population of India when they invented gods. One God for everyone. That seems to be right and fair. Indra, one of the gods, feels terribly hurt and disturbed what has happened to Mahavira, a silent man who has done nothing. The cows moved themselves, came back again, and he is utterly innocent. Indra came, and gods can speak without words. So he spoke to Mahavira that I can put two gods as bodyguards, because this is unthinkable, unbelievable. This should not happen. And to gods, you may not speak, but they can read your thoughts. Indra reads Mahavira's thought is, just leave me alone. I don't want anybody's help. I want to fight it alone. I don't want to be indebted to anybody. Forgive me. Whatever happens, I am going to fight this whole war alone until I am victorious. Now his victory will sound strange to anybody who has been listening to the idea of let go, surrender to existence. But this is good place to remind you that be compassionate about others, their uniqueness. It does not mean that you have to follow their path. It simply means a deep understanding that people are unique. And if people are unique, then their ways are going to be unique. And sometimes very opposite ways lead to the same goal. It is very easy to misunderstand but I would like you to understand different ways, different people, different uniquenesses. All that will help to broaden your heart, your compassion, your comprehension. And whatever path you are following, it will be helpful to it. This broadness, that it can contain contradictions,